All right, happy Tuesday, and for you baseball lovers, happy wild card week for us Mets fans. A disappointing end to the season. We are going to do a little bit of a Jonathan Kuminga video. Shams reported, roughly around dinner time, 6 o'clock Eastern, that Kuminga has signed a 2-year deal with Golden State. The second year contains a team option in the deal. We're going to kind of just give you a little bit of cap semantics, how it impacts Golden State, what's next with the Warriors and their roster. He was facing, as everyone knows, an October 1st deadline, roughly 11:59 p.m. There was an $8 million qualifying offer. If Kuminga signed the qualifying offer, he would have been an unrestricted free agent next year. I thought that was kind of the worst case scenario if you were Golden State when you look at them with their salaries, basically top heavy with Curry, Green, and Butler, three players making roughly $140 million to get Kuminga on an $8 million contract would not have been a good situation. And I think the dynamics within that locker room would have been not great, especially on a player going on a 1-year contract who is going to be an unrestricted free agent. When you look at it, it's been well documented as far as what the offers were. The 2-year deal, which he has signed with the team option. There was a 3-year deal with no options at lesser money. And then there was a 3-year deal with a team option for roughly $75 million. This deal for Golden State will give you a little bit of a perspective from the Warriors. They really did not budge off their original number. The starting salary comes in at $22.5 million. They get the team option that they wanted, and they also get the 1-year bird restriction that is basically a de facto trade clause that Kuminga could have happened is waived in this regards. Golden State can trade him without his permission. There is no obligation as far as what team Kuminga picks if there is a trade, which can happen starting on January 15th. That trade restriction gets lifted. If the contract was for 2 years straight, there would have been no trade clause, no trade restriction. But because there's either a 1-year deal or there's an option in there, you could have he could have had the right to veto a trade. I even went on TV a few weeks ago and I said, listen, if you want to put the trade, let him have the 1-year bird, fine, because once you exercise the team option in the trade, the 1-year bird goes away. As I said, in part, Kuminga gets a trade bonus. If he's traded on January 15th, it's 15% of what the contract would be, a little over $1 million. Golden State would pay that. That gets added on to his $22.5 million salary. All in all, it's a win-win for both sides. I think when you look at it, certainly from Golden State's perspective, as I said, they didn't budge off where they were. For Kuminga, he was basically staring at an $8 million qualifying offer. He gets an extra $14.5 million. He gets the trade bonus in there. He potentially could become an unrestricted free agent, but that would have Golden State decline that team option or whatever team he gets traded to. If he gets traded, he has non-bird rights. So the maximum that he can make next year is 22.5 times 120%, roughly $27 million. It's still a good deal. That's why you want the higher you go, the better for Kuminga here. But when you look at it roster-wise, Golden State right now, they signed Gary Payton II to a 1-year minimum contract. He has a $2.3 million cap hit. They signed Will Richard to a 4-year contract. He has roughly a $1.3 million cap hit. They will sign Al Horford to a 2-year contract for the tax mid-level exception. It starts at $5.685. They are now hard capped at the second apron. They are signing DeAnthony Melton to a 2-year contract at the veteran minimum. Melton starts off at $3 million. Remember, when Golden State went into free agency, a lot of these deals had already happened. Certainly with the Kuminga situation, you basically had to get your house in order. Melton comes in at 2 years. They are $2 million, 2019 under the second apron. You are hard capped at that. That gives them the flexibility to sign a 15th player starting on November 11th. They can do that. You can certainly wait until December and give yourself some more flexibility. So roster spot 15 will not come into fruition until sometime early part of the season. 14 players under contract, 12 guarantees, two partial or non-guarantee, 3 two-way players. Golden State has their roster set. There's no Kuminga distraction, at least we don't think. And now the goal is try to integrate him as far as where his role is coming off the bench and whether they do start. You're looking at somewhere of a lineup of Curry, Pods, maybe Moody. Everybody kind of goes into their natural positions. Butler, Green, and Horford. Biggest thing for me is kind of managing the minutes. You have 4 players in their mid-30s, but certainly their bench, when you look at it from a backcourt perspective with Melton, Peyton, Heald, maybe Pods comes off the bench. You still have Moody. You got Will Richard. Certainly the backcourt is a strength of where they are depth-wise here. So that is it on Jonathan Kuminga, who has signed in Golden State. Thank God we don't have to really talk about that much more. Now we can talk about Golden State on the court. We've got a training camp primer that comes out on Wednesday, 8,000 words. Enjoy. And we have an early season trade deadline guide that we're working on that will come out next week also. That is it. Have a great evening. We will talk soon.
Thinking James Harden when I pull up my range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. The city, yeah, I'm ESPN.